Hello, Cardinals. It's good to have this opportunity to speak to you today and for you to be able to get a little bit more information about what the grading policy looks like here at Bellaire High School. I know that we've had a number of questions come in, and I want to try to clarify some of that today, not only the logistics, but then also I want all the students and families to hear kind of a message from me of what I expect from you over this final few weeks of semester 2 in the spring of 2020. First of all, just to give an idea, I do want to speak just briefly about kind of why I think the policy that HISD put out was a very wise choice. Remember that as we embarked on this new adventure, we didn't know exactly what was going to be around the corner. We still don't know. We're still in April. But I think the district tried to create a policy that gave schools flexibility, and that was in the students and the faculty and staff's best interest. And so I think they did that well. And so it's brought what I think is a little bit less stress to some of our students in terms of what Cycle 6 will look like and how it impacts the overall semester average. And it also helps our faculty and staff as well. But it comes from a good place, and I think that that's what's most important. Is that it comes with the idea of we're trying to provide flexibility because we still don't know everything that could come around the corner. We don't know how fragile different the health conditions in different homes may be. That's not only for our students, but it's also for our faculty and staff as well. And so we'll continue through that to finish out April and into May. But I do think that it's in our students' best interest. So let me clarify a little of it because we continue to have questions, and I want it to be clear from you because also inherent in the policy from the district is the idea to try to bring down some stress level also. And so I'm hopeful that this information will answer some questions that may still linger and maybe be able to bring down the stress level just a little bit for everybody given all that we are facing. The main thing is this, and what everybody keeps asking me is I keep hearing that Cycle 6 can't hurt me. What does that mean? And so in our FAQ, which we'll make sure is also on our eNews, and it continues to be updated on our website, that's distancelearningbhs.com. The FAQ shows you a couple of examples there where Cycle 6 is not used and where Cycle 6 is used. But let me just try and clear it up just a little bit. A semester grade generally is made up of Cycle 4. Let's say this spring semester had everything gone normally. We would have Cycle 4, Cycle 5, Cycle 6, plus the final exam equal up to figure out the semester grade. So the average of those four, each of them weighted at 25%. So what's a little bit different? First, there are no spring final exams for any of our in-person classes that we have during the spring of 2020. So that's gone. Cycle 4 and Cycle 5 will be averaged to set kind of the threshold for Cycle 6. So let me explain that. If you have a 90 in Cycle 4 and an 80 in Cycle 5, then your average would be an 85. So Cycle 6 would only be calculated as part of your semester average if Cycle 6 was going to raise that. So for practical purposes, if Cycle 6 was above the average of Cycle 4 and Cycle 5. So using my example of 90 and 80 with an average of 85, if Cycle 6 was a 90, then it would be computed to average up Cycle 4, 5, and 6 divided by 3, and that would be your semester grade. If your Cycle 4 was 90, Cycle 5 was 80, and Cycle 6 was, let's say, a 60, then that is lower than the average of Cycle 4 and 5, that 85, so therefore it wouldn't be used, and you would just have an 85 for the semester. Now that's a lot of math, and for some of you, you're like, I'm right there with you, Mr. McDonough, and others may be like, I gotta see a graph, show me something, I need a calculator. Please know that on our website, distancelearningbhs.com, in the FAQ for parents and students, the first example is about grading, and it shows you two examples, so you can look a little bit more to make sure that you do follow that, if I wasn't as clear. And that's perfectly okay. The other thing I want to clear up, a question that I've had is it all or nothing, or is it individualized by each class that I take? And so meaning if my Algebra 2 grade goes up in Cycle 6, but my U.S. History grade goes down in Cycle 6, How does that work? Well, it's individualized by class. So if in that example, if your Algebra 2 grade went up, then it would help you for Cycle 6. If your U.S. History grade in Cycle 6 went down, it would not be used. So it's individualized by class. And all of that math, all of that computation will be done within Chancery, which is our student information system. It will all be done behind the scenes. So there's nothing kids have to do. There's nothing even really teachers have to do in terms of that final computation. What I will say, though, another question that's come up is, so if I'm happy with where my grade is, and I don't do as well in Cycle 6, it won't be used. I understand that, but will it be on my report card? My understanding right now is that Cycle 6 will continue to be, as it has always been, will be reported on your final report card at the end of this semester. So that's something to know as well, that whatever your grade is for Cycle 6 will show on the report card. That's what I'm expecting. But the calculations will be based as I described, in that if it's poorer than what your average is, then it will not be used. If it helps you, then it would be used. Again, though, there are no final exams. I do want to make sure. Now, the question that follows, wait, Cycle 6 is going to be on the report card even if it's not good. I thought it wasn't going to hurt me. What you need to know is that your semester grade is the only things that continue to show up on your transcript. So this is a different kind of conversation in high school than it is probably in middle school or in elementary, because you have transcripts that are going to be important if you're trying to join the military or go to junior college or a four-year university or an Ivy League, whatever your path may look like. Your transcript is what matters. Colleges and recruiters never see your individual report cards unless you want to show them. They see your transcripts. So it's important to know that your transcript will only have the computation done where Cycle 6 either hurts you or doesn't. That's the only thing that will be on the transcript, is that final semester average. I hope that helps make it a little bit more clear. So let's talk about what parents and students you're going to see in grade speed during this final 6 weeks. Okay? What we've decided to do is, and again, this is coming from a place of good faith in terms of the level of engagement that students will have during this 6 weeks. We don't know the situations that everyone's in, whether the health conditions have become fragile or there's just other aspects happening in the home that make it harder for kids to keep up with their work. Anything that is not turned in during this 6 weeks, we are listing in grade speed as missing. That's MSG is the code that is used. So we're listing it as missing. Now, I will tell you that missing is a de facto 0 in terms of computation. The computations that grade speed is programmed to do list or count a missing as a 0. Now, we're not listing it as a 0 because we're, again, approaching it from the idea that it is missing at this time. Maybe it's something that you just haven't had a chance to turn in. Maybe it's something because you're really ill that you've fallen behind. Or maybe it's something that because maybe you didn't get off to a great start this 6 weeks, but because of this message or other encouragement, now that you want to go ahead and catch back up. It was listed as missing, not a 0, but missing, which means that we want you to continue to get feedback about it. And we want you to continue to gain from that activity, from your teachers, that learning. We thought about leaving it just blank. However, if we leave it blank, for kids who are turning in things, parents and kids don't know what that means. Is it blank because they didn't receive it? Is it blank because it hasn't been graded? What does the blank mean? So an MSG means that it has been, the teacher has determined that they have graded it and it has not been turned in, so we're saying that it's missing. So that's why we're going with MSG versus just leaving it blank. And we're not doing the 0 again because we're working from a place of giving you the benefit of the doubt that it's just missing at this time and that you're still going to turn it in. The calculation at the end of the 6 weeks will end up being as though it is 0, but we're again working with you under the idea that you just haven't turned it into us yet. Now let's talk about what engagement looks like during these final few weeks here. And we've got, I think, 5 weeks left of school, or maybe a little bit more. The decisions that you're choosing to make, students, about how engaged you are during this last 6 weeks, those are big decisions. And if I'm honest about when I was in high school, I think I'd probably be thinking a lot of different things as well. You mean I can't lower my grade So if I just do nothing and I'm happy with my grade, it stays right where it is? Yes, that is true. I can raise my grade, so I can still get it up a little bit higher if I want to. Get it from a B to an A, get it from an F to a D, or a D to a B, or anything like that. Yes, you can. Are your teachers still preparing learning and activities and holding class so that they can finish covering the material that they need to during this final 6 weeks? Yes, they are. And you need to know that. When you come back for class in the fall, let's say you're in geometry right now and you pass and you move on to Algebra 2, your Algebra 2 teacher is going to expect that you stayed engaged throughout the entire spring semester. We're not operating under the idea that after spring break, we just kind of shut down and everything we're doing right now has no value. That's not where we're operating from, and it's not how we're operating as a campus. And so you need to know that, students, that when you come back, the expectation is that you remained engaged in the learning here on campus. Not here on campus, through the virtual platform. I apologize. This is a single take video, so I'm going to leave that little error in there right there. This is also a test of your character in some ways. There's a saying that character is what we do when no one's looking. Okay? And this is a decision that you are making, and your parents are certainly encouraging you, I imagine, to stay engaged, and they're right about that. We need you to, we want you to. The teachers are operating as though you are. Every day they're prepared with a lesson, something for you, the learning, so that you can be ready. Now, have we narrowed that down? Absolutely we have. Our teachers have worked hard to say, this is what we would normally cover in the last month. We've got to pare that down. We know that. And are we trying some different ways of conveying that and teaching that and assessing that to figure out what you've learned? Yes, we're trying different ways as well. And some are working really well. Some we have to continue to refine. That's just part of the learning that we're doing during this process. But we need you to help us do that. The other piece is this. It's important for us to stay connected. No matter what. Physically, we're distanced from each other, and physically, you're probably keeping distance from a lot of people. But when you come and log into a Teams call, or you come and show up to office hours or a small group meeting or anything like that, you're staying connected, and that's healthy. It's healthy for you to come and be connected with us. I've charged the teachers that during class time, so let's say first period on A day at 9 o'clock, that we're having class. Now, some days that may be direct instruction. We have to take you through something very specific. Other days it may just be, I just want to come and make sure my kids are in a good spot and make sure to see if they need anything. Kind of a wellness check-in, just to stay connected. Hearing your voices is very important to us. And hearing the voices of your friends, I know, is important to you. So staying connected to us is not only going to help you in terms of your learning, it's also going to just be healthy for you. And so that's another reason that we want to make sure that you stay engaged. And we want to help you continue to learn. And so if something you turn in is you're still not getting it completely, then we're going to work with you through feedback that we give you to help that improve, because you just haven't learned it yet. And there's that growth mindset that you've heard about, and we want to continue to make sure that we're supporting you with that. Now, seniors, you may be listening to me and thinking, Mr. McDonough, we're graduating. We're not coming back into Algebra 2 next year or anything like that. And you're right. You're right. If your classes are where you are, again, if I think back to me, that would be a tough decision. I understand. But you've heard me talk about all the way back in October, and then through this year, other messages. How do you want to leave your mark at Bellaire High School? What do you want your teachers to remember you? What do you want the school, what do you want me to remember you for in terms of how you left your mark here at Bellaire High School? Some of you have done it on the field, on the stage, in the classroom, club, so many different ways that make me very proud. And you know that, and you know that I miss you, but it's also now, so are you going to just check out? Are you just checking out for the last 2.5 months? Is that how you want to leave Bellaire High School? I don't think it is. It may sound good right now, but I don't think it's truly how you want to do that. And so I'm counting on you to remain engaged, if nothing else, to be a role model for the 9th, 10th, and 11th graders behind you. We've talked about that leadership, those lollipop moments. And I think this is one. Nobody may come and thank you for doing it, but it's the right thing to do, and it will make an impression on other people. And so I want you to think about that as well. Now, those freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, you got to think about this also. We write a lot of letters of recommendation. Teachers are asked to do that. I'm asked to do that. Counselors, everybody. it may not be uncommon for someone to go, well, let me look in grade speed and see how engaged they stayed. They checked out, they didn't really do anything the last 6 weeks. What does that tell me about their work ethic? What does that tell me about their level of commitment? What does that tell me about the character? Now, if you're in a health situation and you've communicated that to us, we will work with you because we know that's a reality. If there's tough things going on in your home, please, as I pleaded with parents and with kids at the beginning, when those things occur, not if, but when those things occur, you have to communicate with us. We will work with you. We understand. We are making no assumptions about what's going on in everybody's home during this time and the challenges that everybody is facing. And we ask you not to make any assumptions about us as well. We all are part of families, and we all have different things that we're experiencing, but we've got to have that communication. Absent that, we're going to look at how engaged you were. And as you apply to be a Cardinal Crew leader, as you apply for different leadership positions here on campus, those kind of things could be something that we look at. I'm not saying they're an all or nothing deal breaker, but there's certainly things that we have to consider when we're talking about character, scholarship, work ethic, commitment, all of those different pieces. So we want you to stay engaged. It's worthwhile for you to stay engaged. I hope that the lessons and the learning opportunities that you're having with teachers are engaging, that they're relevant, that they're achievable, and that you're receiving feedback. That's what I've challenged them to do, and that's what I want you to expect from them. And if you're not getting that and you want to let us know, you can email me directly and we'll follow up, because that's what's important, those connections, and then learning that's relevant, achievable, and where you're getting good feedback. That's what's going to be powerful for you as we move forward. As I begin to wrap this up, what I would just say finally is that many of you know that I'm a runner, and I just ran my first marathon this last January. But when I wanted to start training for half marathons, and certainly for a marathon, I got the advice of a coach. And he gave me some different plans, like this week I want you to run this. This is a speed day, an endurance day, tempo, long runs, all of those different things. The accountability really was with myself. And whether or not I did them, or the effort that I put into them, or if I skipped those workouts, I'm the only one who really knows. And I'm the one that then, toward my goal, I either met it or I didn't. But it was for me. And I'm the one who had to make those choices. And the learning that's in front of each of you students is for you. This is your learning. It's your education where you can pull this and pull these pieces together that may launch you toward a new and exciting career, an idea, or something that you're going to create, a piece of art, or whatever it may be, that idea that spurns into something else that gives you passion. It's for you. We're designing it. We're here for you. We are committed to you. And I hope that you just think about that as you're making decisions about what your level of engagement these last few weeks. Let's stay connected. Let's stay engaged. That's what we expect from you. You're part of Bellaire. That's what we do at Bellaire. You came to Bellaire High School because you were looking for a specific experience. Now, we can't physically give it to you right now, but we can still give it to you intellectually. We're still outstanding with that number 2 pencil, but we're also just a strong community where kids look to do the right thing, and I'm proud of you for that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with just letting you know that we'll put out some more information in our FAQ under distancelearningbhs.com. Check out that website. Let us know what challenges you're facing. If any of this wasn't clear, please let me know, let us know, so that we can make it as crystal clear as possible. All right? But with that, I'm cardinal proud of everyone. I'm excited to still have this opportunity to speak to you. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're safe, that you're healthy. You're learning something new about yourself, or reconnecting with people in your home. But let's stay a strong community, and let's stay engaged. And with that, I thank you and enjoy the day.